Does it feel like it's a week away?
Does it feel like it's a week away? A little bit, yeah, just some logistics, trying to get everything going for when we're leaving, how we're doing it, that kind of stuff. But we're ready. The team's ready to play. So I guess not on the softball side we're ready to go, but on the logistical side, it's on us, and we're pretty excited.
I asked AB about transferring here, and she brought up having played here against you guys and just the magic of the stadium and whatnot. How impressive is that too when you hear that from an opposing player that decides to be a current player for you?
I think it's pretty awesome. We get a lot of compliments from other coaches when they play here, so I know that it's pretty unique and special, and I think we try to cultivate that and protect that as much as we can, which is like things like Fan Day that are coming up, and can create that special, unique experience for players and for fans. But again, it doesn't, you don't just put culture on, you got to be about it. So I think Annabelle's a big part of the reason, why we're made successful, and she's going to be that smile that everyone wants to cheer for, here. She's got a great personality. So I think it's just a little bit of, good recruiting, the recruits, the players that fit here, and then the fans just embrace them. So I think it's awesome to hear from there, because their student athlete experience is what is ultimately important to us. But it's also something that I know we work really hard at and trying to create.
Have you sensed from the team yet they've reached that point where they're just ready to play somebody not wearing garnet?
Yes and no. Crazy enough, I just think they really love coming out every day. They're down there in the cages right now getting after it, and so they're excited to obviously compete and try to unveil that part. But this team has really showed a little bit difference in the sense of they just really enjoy softball and they really enjoy each other, and so that's been something a little bit special for us. Reminds me of like the 2017 team. They were all about that too. So every team has a little different feel. So this one, they just, now that the sun's out and the snow's gone, they're pretty excited to be out every day.
Did you ever think when you came to Tallahassee, Florida, you'd have to work around snow?
Get a little snow. Yeah, everyone always wished for it, right? And then it happened. Now I'm like, oh, I'm not wishing for that again. So yeah, but no, it was nice. I think the tough part for us was just logistically, we don't have the ability to throw some salt some places and get some, so you miss a few days of getting after it, but we made the most of it and they did great.
Did you guys go indoors? How did y'all adapt at that time?
We have the ability to be in the cages, the covered cages. So even though it was feels like 30 or maybe a 20 some days in there, they were still getting after it in the cages. And then we'd slide in a little bit to the indoor when we do some conditioning or something like that. It's a little harder in the indoor because you can't really play it out. Plus the lighting is a little bit different. So kudos to all those teams up north that figure out how to do that inside. But yeah, we got after what we needed to. And it was also kind of a good time to, again, we were pretty ready to go. So it's nice to get a little fundamental work, but then go ahead and rest so that we can have a good week this week.
When you say working on stuff that you needed to, what has been one of your big focuses coming into the season? Is there an area of emphasis that you have for the team?
I think, our mantras, having a little piece, Team 42, put your head in the pillow at night. So I think that was kind of the idea is can we just give everything we have each day and just keep building the bricks to be better? But this is also a little bit too, people like Jay, who had an incredible freshman season, Issa, Danley, the expectations from the media at times, right? Or, we had a write-up the other day talking about national championships and things like that. And, those things are out of our control. And I think when you have a campaign like that your freshman year, you have all these expectations put on you, and these are pleasers. They want to please everyone. But the reality is, that's really tough to repeat. All we can do is what we have in control right now. And so I think that's a little bit of the conversations. They're in a great spot. Let's go see what we're about. And fortunately for us, we got 60 games ahead of us to kind of ride the journey.
I know you like to play a lot of people, but do you feel pretty confident about this is where people will settle in going into game one?
Yeah, well, I think we're pretty confident that we have a lot of options swinging the bat. And then where they filter in defensively, that'll play out in the first 20 games or so. We're usually pretty good, in the first month, 6 weeks of trying to figure out what wins 3-game series. And that's kind of what the preseason, pre-conference season is all about for us. And so, but this team has come back in really good shape. They're pushing each other in a very healthy, competitive way. So that's going to give us a good chance to get after what this team is capable of doing. And a lot of it comes down to some swings. Yeah.
Coach.
Yeah.
Oh, my bad.
All right.
So you guys went to the Super Regional last year.
Yeah.
You had such a young pitching staff, a depleted pitching staff after the royalty injury, McKenna Reed being injured. Danley took up a lot of work for you guys last year. Talking about her specifically, what are your hopes for her this season?
I mean, I think Ashton, as you all get to know her, she just really wants to do what's best for the team. And so, you know, we've had to really work hard. I'm not going down the rabbit hole of like, I'm not producing for my team right now, but like, what am I capable of doing? So when her back was kind of pushed against the wall last year, she had a lot of learning moments that now she can implement into her sophomore year, you know, and the rest of her career as a pitcher here. So I think those have been some individual talks. Obviously, you know, getting her skill sets a little bit more, adding a little bit of a screwball, adding some off-speed pitches to her repertoire, and then surrounding her with uniqueness in the circle. So lefty hard up, little spinny curves, like those kind of things can help out her fastball, drop ball mix in there. So I think with her understanding and knowledge being a position player and hitter, it helps her compete in the circle, but then her wanting to be doing it so well for the team at times was really hard for her to manage that emotional state, you know. So I think she's learned a lot on that, and now she's got, you know, a hopefully healthy, let's all knock on wood, pitching staff that can get after a full season. Yeah.
What does it mean to you to take the program for the first time out of the country and play in Puerto Vallarta?
Yeah, it's I think, you know, we all talk about student athlete experience. I mean, but I think for us to be able to go somewhere and have an experience together with this team, we're going to have adversity, just travel in general. And sometimes you gain some really cool bonds early on, being able to do that. I think once we get on the field and the lights go on, the competition against Oklahoma State, we've seen them at the World Series, we've seen them in Clearwater, we've seen them a lot of places. But now you're in another environment, but when the lights go on, it's just going to be us versus them. When the game's over, there's going to be some unique opportunities for us to grow as a team early in the season. So excited about that part of it. We're also going to have the chance to go to London here at the end of the summer with our incoming 9 freshmen for Team 43. Again, just student athlete experience, but also building that team since we're going to have such a big hockey line shift here with 9 seniors moving out and 9 freshmen coming in, that I think if culture is really important to us, we got to pour into it. And so these are 2 experiences, us going internationally to be able to make that happen.
Is that going to be another college tournament over in London, or are you going to be taking?
It's just one of our
teams?
4 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll probably take maybe Great Britain or maybe Ireland or something like that. Hasn't really been decided yet, but yeah. Be good.